Hello my friends, this is a smoker that I bought at Renew from Habitat, and I overpaid. I paid $100 for the smoker. They knew it was bad. They said it had a bad control board, which they were correct, but when I plugged it in it said it had a bad igniter. So I changed the igniter, and this is the old, or the burned out control board. Said it had a bad igniter. I changed the igniter. The air message still said bad igniter. Everything else was functioning, but I could not get the air message off, so I couldn't fire the smoker up. So my alternative was, when I bought it, I knew it was bad. I thought about using it as the old traditional smoker where you have a wood fire outside and you run the smoke in. I made a panel to replace where this was going and put in a control panel from another type of a smoker. I got the control panel very cheap for under $40, and it controls everything fine. It doesn't have a Wi-Fi connection to it, which I wasn't concerned about that, and it also doesn't have a switch to turn the internal light that's in here, so that doesn't work. But other than that, the smoker's working fine. I tested it, and I'm anxious to start smoking a lot of other things in here. If you have a problem with the smoker that you have, the control boards to replace, if you're going to the company, I believe they're overpriced. They wanted $200 for this control panel. Before I would pay that, I would make it into a wood-fired smoker. But the alternative is put a affordable control panel, and they can be adapted. So this is what I did. And I'll show you, there's a few minor wiring adjustments that you have to make from one to the other. But if you look at the color coding, is usually standard, and if you follow that, it'll function. Okay, the controller, when you turn it on, it powers up, gives you the actual temperature, fans running, Auger ran, and you get an air message, and this is the fire starter, and that was definitely bad. That was changed, and with it being changed, I'm still getting that air message. Now what the manufacturer recommended is it's a bad board, bad controller, that it should be replaced. They want $200 for a new control board. I am not going to put the same board in. I can order a board online for a different model and for under $40. So I'm going to do the $40 instead of the $200 fix. This is the igniter from the Pit Boss. So I'm going to show you something here. I'm using a ohm meter or a continuity tester. Have it set on a real high scale, and when you make a short, connect the leads together, you can see the needle deflection. Okay, that's showing short. Now any heating element, which is one of these, kind of like an igniter on a furnace, it has a resistive element in there that will give you an indication of continuity, of some resistance. Okay, now when I check this, it's showing me open. So that's an indicator that this is a burned out or a bad element. Okay, now I ordered a new element. I ordered 2 of them just to have a backup. They were $12 a piece. Okay, now when I check the continuity here, you see that it shows 0, meaning it will heat. And here's the other one. And same thing. These are new. It shows continuity just about a 0. So this will have a high current flow in there through this, and it will make this hot enough to ignite the wood pellets in the smoker. To change the igniter, you have to remove the burn box that's under here. This is the firebox. The auger is in here. The fan or motor that drives the auger is right here. And here's the blower that blows into the fire. This is the firebox. And the igniter plugs into this tube right here. Okay, it's held in with this screw right here. Okay, to get this in, we have to feed this through the unit, and it comes out at this point. I think to get that in, I'll have to remove this and feed through. Okay, here's our plug. Okay, now we can return our blower. Snug them all up. You got to feed this to the side because of the tube that's in there. Once it's in there, you can straighten it out. You need to pull the slack out of that end where the plug is. Okay, that's in. It's solid, and the unit is ready to go back into the smoker. Okay, this is a pretty heavy unit. That's why I have it laying on the floor and I have it leaning. All these plugs have to feed through this hole, including this one. And they'll make their connections here. I'm going to place this in position, like here. This hopper here, the pellets come down into the hopper area. There's a auger screw that will turn and feed the pellets into this burn box here. The yellow will plug together, and if you look closely, you can't plug them in wrong. This one side has a lead. So we match it, plug it together, and then they snap in. Okay, now that can feed, that's pretty short, that can feed back in, but we get these fed through first. So there's a rubber grommet. You want to maintain that grommet. That protects all the wiring from getting cut with the metal edge. That one snapped. And here's our igniter. Now we just flip this back and secure it. Okay, 4 screws holding this inner panel on, And I'm going to remove this. Unit is unplugged. There's the control board, and all the connections are right here. We can disconnect these now. They're all color coded. To remove the board, you just remove these 5 nuts that hold the cover plate on. I need to make a cover plate to fill in this area and to mount the new control panel on it. This is a scrap piece of aluminum I had laying around. Here I have the metal frame cut out, and I'm going to use the existing holes that are in here, and I have some pop rivet backup washers. These wires have to feed through this backup plate. Now we insert our controller. And this has little tabs that it'll snap in. Okay, you heard them all snap. This is a computer shot off my computer screen, and this is the wiring. The wiring here is on the smoker unit itself, and the wiring down here, these components, are the new controller board. Some of the things are the same, some are different. We have to change the wiring to make it workable. So first of all, this line here is part of the temperature sensor. It is exactly the same, and right here it's kind of off the screen, but that just plugs together. It's the same. The power supply, which is 110 volts, is this black and white wire. That's the same. You can see 2 white wires coming out, but that's the common or return, and that's going to these other clips. So that's okay. Those are plugged together. Okay, now the purple wire, purple is the igniter, and you can see on the unit there is a purple and orange, and the orange wire is the light wire. So what I did is I just pulled that one out. I can connect that later to a switch to power the light, but it's not needed. So I pulled that one out, and this purple here has a white conductor on the other. I also removed that. So then I plugged purple into purple, and there was no second wire in that plug. So that was fine. Okay, this connection here, it's red and yellow. The red is the arbor motor, and the yellow is the fan to the firebox. Both of these are needed. So what I did here is this unit here has the yellow and it has the white. I pulled the white out of this section with the metal terminal that's inside. Then I removed the red out of this one, and I replaced it into here. So then this plug had red and yellow, and that plugged into here. So that was all the connections we needed. It left this one hanging with not being used. So we had this one connected. Now it had a red yellow plugged into here. This one had purple. I removed the yellow, and then I removed the white on this one, so it had purple connecting to purple. Black and white connected to black and white, that was fine. And the temperature sensor plugged in, and that was fine. With those connections, the unit worked perfectly. Of course, the new unit did not have the Wi-Fi connection in it. If I would have bought a unit with it, that's internal connection. There would not have been a plug for that on this unit. And the new unit did not have control for a light, so the light is not connected. There, when you get it lined right, it'll go in the right way. This orange is our light, which we can fix later. It's not needed. Let's make a quick check of the system. Power on. The dial is at off. You click it to smoke. This would be the light position. The fan is running. The auger is pushing pellets out. The igniter is lit. Current temperature is 65 degrees. Okay. When you turn it off, it goes through the shutdown cycle. The fan for the burn pot is going to run for another 15 minutes before it shuts off. Okay, it's ready to go outside and do some smoking. Took about 2 minutes for it to start smoking. Now we're going to set the temperature to 250. Let it come up to that temperature, then we're going to put our shrimp in there. This is peeled and deveined shrimp, and I have garlic butter here, and I'm going to spread this on the shrimp. It took 30 minutes for the smoker to come up to 250 degrees from a cold start. That gave me enough time to prep this. It's been 30 minutes. Take a look. It smells great. Let's cut one of them. I'll cut the thicker one. See if it's cooked inside. Nice and tender. They're done. Let me give it a taste. Amazing.